you're up for 2 picks here, man.
I am up for 2 picks with the Colts at 26, then the Raiders at 27. Colts at 26, I'm going to be the one to pull the trigger on J.J. Arcega Whiteside here. You brought in Devin Funchess, but you can't have too many weapons there around
1 year of Funchess.
Andrew Luck. Yes, only 1 year of Funchess. And you get T.Y. Hilton. You have him as the slot, mover around piece. J.J. Arcega Whiteside, you can plug him in on the outside. Contested catch. Another red zone threat to add to Eric Ebron there in that offense. It's just going to be tough to guard around the goal line. And I think that he fits perfectly with what they already have there offensively.
Wow.
And then so
the Colts definitely need to attack wide receiver. I think the board will fall to a place where a pretty good wide receiver will be there for the Colts at 26. I like that.
And then the Raiders up on the clock at 27. I already had a tough time with the pick before this with their pick of Amani Oruwariye. I am going to go a little off the board here. Not off the board, but off the wall here. And reach for a guy that I kind of like his potential, but Hakeem Butler.
Really?
Out of Iowa State. Pair him with Antonio Brown, Tyrell Williams, the big-bodied guy in that offense. Just give Garrett Carr basically no excuse in that offense. If he doesn't do it with this group, he's probably not going to be your guy. Antonio Brown, Tyrell Williams, Hakeem Butler. That's going to be getting off the bus. That looks good.
So that I like. And again, if you're following along at home with our draft board, you'll see we have Hakeem Butler behind 2 other receivers on our top 50 board right now. Mm-hmm. Indy Isabella, the wide receiver from UMass, and Marquise Brown from Oklahoma. But Isabella and Brown are both speed, undersized outside guys. Mm-hmm. So you just went more stylistically Hakeem Butler to fit in that offense over the 2 guys that are above the board.
Yes.
So that's where best player available does. It takes a bit of a turn because scheme fit and current roster fit do matter. Mm-hmm. That you don't always just go down the board because you have to fit all these pieces in.
It's just going to be tough to guard all 3 of those if you're looking at an opposing defense from a matchup perspective. What kind of answer do you have for Brown, Williams, and Butler?
That's where I feel good about Hakeem Butler coming off the board. That's where I feel pretty good. I've got back-to-back picks now. Mm-hmm. So I have the Chargers at 28 and the Chiefs at 29. I think this could be a jackpot for both teams. The Chargers now, a couple different ways they can go. Darnell Savage, the safety from Maryland's a top player on our board. I love him. Could you imagine him and my boy Derwin James on the back end?
It's a lot of ground being covered, yeah.
That is so tantalizing right now. But I still think I'm going to go defensive interior. This is where I think the Chargers have had issues for years. I can debate between the 2 Clemson guys. Christian Wilkins and Dexter Lawrence are our next 2 interior defensive linemen. I think Christian Wilkins brings a little bit more versatility there. Mm-hmm. So I'm going Christian Wilkins. The Clemson interior defensive lineman. He's going to the Chargers at 28. He went to Clemson already. But he's going to 28. I did debate between him and Dexter Lawrence. I wanted to put Darnell Savage together with Derwin James. But now Darnell Savage is going to the Chiefs.
Okay.
So the Chiefs just need anybody that can cover anything on the back end. Mm-hmm. They've been looking for a safety. Darnell Savage, rangy safety to the Chiefs at 29. And this is only because we started stealing second-round corners off the draft board. So, we need to I need to grab a safety instead. I like
Savage there. I would have liked Savage with the Chargers as well, but I do think he's very much worthy of a first-round selection.
For sure. Sub 4.4 speed that shows up on the field. I mean, he just accelerates through the catch point. Darnell Savage from Maryland.
And the Chiefs anywhere in that secondary qualifies as need at this point.
3 picks left. You get the Packers now for you. You have the Packers. I have the Rams. And then you have the Patriots to round this thing out.
All right. At number 30 overall, the Green Bay Packers. We're going to go wide receiver. We're going to go Andy Isabella. Article coming out on the website tomorrow about how he's worthy of a first-round pick. But you want to pencil him in the slot? Fine, he can go play in the slot there in Green Bay because they have a need. But he is more than just a slot receiver my eyes, but as a vertical down the field weapon from the slot. He can do a lot of things that Brandon Cooks can do, a lot of things that Tyreek Hill can do in terms of challenging safeties with that speed. The fastest 40 of any wide receiver in this class shows up repeatedly on tape. If you don't get hands at him, if he gets a step on you, you're toast. Andy Isabella to the Packers, adding some much needed speed along with Devontae Adams there.
Do you know what you've done now?
What have I done?
With the Packers?
Jerry Tillery and Andy Isabella. They went.
When did that happen?
In your last mock.
My last mock. Jerry Tillery at 12, Andy Isabella at 30. Get ready for the Packers hate. The fans were not happy.
Yeah.
Isabella, this receiver I've never heard of.
He's worth it.
I just went Boston on you, but I like those two picks for the Packers. I'm now the Rams at 31. We got 2 picks left. Rams at 31. Man, I got a couple to choose from here.
Yeah.
I do want to replace John Sullivan at center, but I don't think I'm going to do it with Elgin Jenkins. I think I've got some other places that I want to go. I want to get him in the first round. He's got a first-round grade for us. Chase Winovich from Michigan. He's the next edge off our board. He's ahead of Cleveland Ferrell, Zach Allen, and Montez Sweat on our board as of right now. Dexter Lawrence is also tempting right here for the Rams, but I'm going Chase Winovich, Michigan edge defender, the best edge defender to come out of Michigan in the draft right now, gets after the quarterback. He can win in the run game. The Rams have had this need at edge for a while with Aaron Donald tearing things up on the interior. Pair Winovich with Dante Fowler. I just went full. I saw Dexter Fowler. I watched 3 at-bats of baseball this weekend. Dexter Fowler had one of them, and it got stuck in my head. Dante Fowler, of course, on the edge with Chase Winovich. I like the fit there for the Rams.
Yeah, I like the fit. I think Garrett Bradbury could be high on their board as well, just because of how much of a zone center he is. That's pretty much the only scheme I would want him in with his size, but that's what the Rams run. He would make a lot of sense for them there as well.
We have a second round grade on Bradbury, but for the Rams, he'd be a first round grade for us if we were doing team boards.
Yes, so that one's close. We can't argue with the edge need. If they did have someone else to rush the passer, pretty much anyone else to rush the passer there, that defensive line would be terrifying for opposing offenses. Right now, it's pretty much just Aaron Donald, and Sue was something last year, but not anything special rushing the passer. If they had anyone, it would be tough to defend. So can't argue with that. Winovich has produced at an extremely high level his entire college career, and then he tested freakishly at the combine. So not a ton of question marks with him.
So I'm going Winovich.
32nd
Did that
pick.
surprise you that he tested well? That confirmed a lot of things. We saw it on film with Winovich.
Yeah, I thought he was a good athlete. It was better. He did test better than I expected, though.
It is nice to see that, though. Patriots at 32. Round it out, Mike.
Patriots at 32. I think the way the board is shaping up here could either go, I think along the defensive line is still where the value is in this draft class. And I think I've said this all along. Dexter Lawrence is a disruptor on the interior, only 21 years old. Nose tackle is more than just a placeholder. And the Patriots love interior pressure. They love nose tackles. They traded a third rounder for Danny Shelton, who's not near the athlete that Dexter Lawrence is. So if they're trading a third rounder for 1 year of Danny Shelton, I think they would easily take Dexter Lawrence in the first round, and I'd be willing to too in that defense. So Dexter Lawrence is your pick at number 32.
Yeah, I did a breakdown on our YouTube channel comparing Dexter Lawrence actually to Danny Shelton and to Vita Vea, the other 340-pound guys that went in the first round a couple years ago. Vita Vea and Dexter Lawrence both have a great combination of both run-stopping grade and pass rush grade, where Shelton was well below in pass rush grade.
Yes.
And so Shelton didn't really justify a first-round pick. I think Vita Vea will. I think Dexter Lawrence also will because of the ability to play 3 downs.
Yeah, and Lawrence and Vita Vea athletically nowhere in different worlds than Danny Shelton was. He did 36 bench reps and ran a 5.05. Dexter Lawrence did with almost 35-inch arms. He is a absurdly large human being. You could even just be like, hey, drop 20 pounds and play 3-tech for us. You could get him to trim weight, I would imagine, and he would be even better. But that 36 bench reps that's a big, nice number for a 21-year-old.
Yeah, and look, since he was a true freshman, he was right up there with Ed Oliver as far as production goes. He tapered off a little bit in the run game compared to Oliver, but as a pass rusher, he's been similar from a PFF pass rush standpoint. So that's your first round. I think to recap briefly, though, 3 guys with first-round grades still on the board. Will Grier, quarterback, who I think for the Patriots would have been a nice pick there if they're going to look for their next guy. Marquise Brown, the wide receiver
Brady's
from Oklahoma.
5 more years, though, so I don't want
Brady's
to ruin his rookie
maybe
contract.
8 years.
Yeah.
So Marquise Brown, the wide receiver from Oklahoma, and Elgin Jenkins from Mississippi State. The center, as we said, Montez Sweat and Rashawn Gary not going to be in our first round. They're going to have second-round grades for us. N'Keal Harry, second-round grade. Drew Lock from Missouri, the quarterback, second-round grade. Daniel Jones, more of a late second, early third-round grade for us, just for some perspective.
Josh Jacobs, not even close.
Josh Jacobs, not even close because he's a running back, even though he's the top running back on our board. I think he's up around 60 or so in our rankings. If you're looking at the second round here, there's some good, based off our board, some tackle, edge defender, and safety depth in the second round. So if you are, we talked about this in the podcast the other day, Cowboys, Browns, Saints, and Bears who are in the third round. If you're looking for some depth in where you might go, those are the positions of value.